And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sehnita Joshua Mattison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to CCN Sunrise. As usual, we have a great show for you today. Mayoral Candidate for Pasadena, Don Morgan, is here, and my beautiful co-host, Mary Winters. I'm so excited because you're going to be teaching your mom how to FaceTime or Skype in your senior solution.
I am, and she was so afraid, and she did such a great job. I was really, really proud of her.
You have a lot of patience because, yeah, I have a hard time with my parents. You know, my dad has been using Facebook for a year, and every time he's like, I just need a tutorial.
I need a like. And
I know.
Yeah, my dad is really funny how he does his little posts and so forth, but it's very sweet. We're also going to have Pasadena Star News editor Frank Girardot with his Unsolved Murders, and making tacos with Del Frisco chef Angel Flores.
Oh, that's going to be so tasty.
It's really good.
You're like a regular
I
there
have
now,
my own
right?
table there now. I carved my name.
Because they're new in Pasadena, but you made sure this is mine.
This is my area.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we love that place. Looking forward to going back there. But you know, Mary needs to get back to her Senior Solutions segment, so we are still looking for a permanent co-host. And if you are interested, please reach out to Tammy Devine. You can reach her at ccnsunrise@crowncitynews.com. But before we go any further, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors who make this show possible.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, Senior Providers Network, Ability First, Beacon Media News, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.
Our sponsors list is growing. We need to thank Paseo, Colorado as well. And today's food sponsor is Del Frisco's Grille. Now it's time for Crown City News with CCN's Paulo Alejandria.
And now, CCN Crown City News. Your neighborhood starts right now.
Hi, Sehnita and Mary. Here's a look at some of the headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley. A rash of what seems to be gang-related shootings in northwest Pasadena have many in the community on edge. CCN's Tony Mead has the story.
Due to the recent shootings this past January, one of them being right here in Washington Park, police, city council members, and the community came together in an effort to end violence in Pasadena. Within the last 2 weeks, police have responded to 4 shootings, 3 of which happened in Pasadena city parks. On January 21st, 2 people were wounded after a shooting at Washington Park. Police say both victims have been reluctant to provide information. 6 days later, a 50-year-old man was shot to death in Villa Park. And just this past Thursday, shots were fired at La Pintoresca Park. Police responded but say the suspect got away. Shortly after that, police also answered calls of shots fired in the area of Fair Oaks Avenue and West Hammond Street, but found no victims.
I think everybody here agrees clearly that violence is an issue in Pasadena. Especially this uptick, it's concerning to hear the police chief call it moderately safe is of concern.
At the end of January, District 5 Council member Victor Gordo requested an urgent hearing for residents, police, and members of the City Council about the violence during the February 2nd City Council meeting. At the meeting, residents discussed their fears and frustrations and learned what police are doing about the shootings. Chief Philip Sanchez says the incidents seem to be gang-related.
Staff started to notice an increase in shots fired calls around Community Arms, Los Robles, El Sereno, and it was a mixture of gang activity.
Northwest Pasadena resident Daryl Emanuel says he's well aware of the shootings happening in the area and says the violence gets worse when the sun goes down.
The neighborhood, it's okay, it's good. It get crazy out the dark.
All the shootings last month left 1 dead and 5 critically injured. In Pasadena, Tony Mead, CCN.
Fire destroyed a Pasadena restaurant this past week, causing thousands of dollars worth of damages. I had a chance to talk with Pasadena Fire Department Public Information Officer Lisa Derderian about the damage.
One of our engine companies was driving down the street, saw smoke in the area, called our dispatch, and they did not have a report of it. Realized it was coming from the restaurant and that their hood system had a collection of grease, which is common in restaurants. Most fires we respond to as a result of grease that accumulates in the hood system. Grease buildup is common, unfortunately, just because people tend to not necessarily go in there and look at it. They get complacent. So ensuring that the hoods are kept clean on a routine basis, making sure that the staff inside the restaurants know how to evacuate the occupants should fire occur or smoke fill the restaurant.
It's reached the San Gabriel Valley. The measles outbreak that started in Disneyland a few weeks ago spread to 14 states and is now here locally. The CDC reports that of the 102 total cases reported as of January 30th, 17 cases of measles are in Los Angeles County and 3 cases right here in Pasadena. CCN's Hannah Townsley talked with Pasadena's Public Health Department's Dr. Ying Go about what local health officials are doing to combat the disease.
I'm standing outside the Pasadena Public Health Department where I just spoke to health officials who confirmed that there are 3 cases of measles in this city. One of the officials discussed the steps that the department is taking to bring awareness to the community.
We would like to start with communities that are serving children first, to make sure that parents have the information that they need to get their kids vaccinated. So we're reaching out to schools, public and private schools, with information, and of course the school nurses know that we're here available to them as a resource whenever needed.
Dr. Ying Go says the Pasadena Public Health Department has also reached out to other healthcare offices so that people can have more information about the measles.
We have connected with certainly all our healthcare facilities, so the places where people would go if they were sick, including pediatricians and other doctors' offices, but also the urgent care and the hospital ER.
Go says measles symptoms are similar to those of the common cold, which include coughing, high fever, runny nose, and skin rash. Doctors say measles can lead to death. Although there's no cure for measles, health officials encourage people to prevent getting the disease with an MMR vaccine.
So the vaccination is it's called MMR, which is measles, mumps, and rubella. It contains all 3 components of that. And that is the currently licensed vaccine available in the United States against measles.
But Dr. Rodardi says vaccines do have side effects.
The potential side effects generally are going to be, you could get a fever, you could get a slight rash. Typically it comes on a little bit later after the vaccine, so it's not an immediate reaction. It might be a week to 2 weeks later. Certainly you can get local side effect as far as swelling or redness that you can get with any vaccination.
Throughout the country, a heated debate between those in favor of vaccinations and those against is taking place. Some anti-vaxxers worry about a possible link between vaccines and autism or brain disorders, but Rodardi says there is no link.
We could do a whole other episode on the myths about the MMR vaccine and side effects, which have really been debunked as far as worries about autism linkage and things like that.
Dr. Go says the ages of the recent California outbreak range from infant to 70-year-old adults. She also explains the age that infants should get their first shots.
Typically we give children shots at 12 months or older, and then they get a second shot of MMR at around 4 years of age before they start kindergarten.
If you suspect that someone has any measles-related symptoms, the LA County of Public Health asks that you immediately contact your local public health department. In Pasadena, Hannah Townsley, CCN.
The Pasadena chapter of League of Women Voters hosted a panel discussion on vocational education at the Women's City Club Thursday, February 5th. The panel consisted of leaders and organizations representing various areas of job training in the skilled trades. Discussions covered a wide variety of job market-related topics, especially the necessity of a skilled workforce to be adaptable in the face of an ever-changing economic environment.
And in our changing economy and our changing environment, we have to be patient with all of the changes that have come all of our ways, because we all need to prepare for ourselves no matter what age we are.
That's it for the news. Back to you, Mary and Sehnita.
Thanks for that, Paulo. And we have another candidate to introduce you to in our election interview series.
Mayoral Candidate Don Morgan joins us in studio next.
So, what is love? Love is being independent. Love is dancing. At Shriners Hospital for Children, love is a new smile.
At Shriners Hospitals for Children, love is caring for a child regardless of the family's ability to pay. Learn how you can send your love to the rescue at lovetotherescue.org.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6. To me, being the first person to go to college, it's like setting a standard, you know? My little brother is 8 years old now. I challenge his curiosity. I challenge him to dream. I have to paint a picture for him that he can look up to and live up to and possibly be better than. My name is Jaquez, and I am your dividend.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Development consultant Don Morgan wants to bring his expertise to the Pasadena mayoral seat. He joins us to explain why are you running. Thanks for being here, Don.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
There's so much going on in this city right now.
There is a lot going on in
It
the
seemed
city.
like, you know, right at the start of the new year,
Yeah.
you hit the ground running.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, we knew that that was a huge opportunity for the mayor to play a significant role in so many of the amazing things, both on the opportunity and the needs side of what we can do here in Pasadena. So, you know, what I love about our town is we're 140,000 residents, so we're big enough to have real opportunities and real challenges, but also small enough that I think we can do things here that no other city in the country really has the potential to do. So, you know, the opportunity to come here and align resources and get so many of the institutions in Pasadena working together to do some really innovative things, I think is very exciting for the next mayor.
So what are the biggies that you want to accomplish?
Well, the three things that you just can't disconnect, obviously, are the economy and jobs, right? They're a key driver, and housing, of course, is attached to that. And then those are huge indicators for how we do on the education side. And we know if we do well on those three things, then crime goes down, and the other things that we're facing as a community also start to really get improved. So,
But you know, one of the things that strikes me with Pasadena,
Yes.
you know, we have such a high per capita of, you know, agencies and organizations,
We do.
nonprofits
Yeah.
working in the city. But then we still have that, you know, the whole Tale of Two Cities, and, you know, we talked about the shootings
Yes.
recently.
yes.
So how do you align that? How do you bring those two things together?
Sure. So it turns out that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. So as a fundraiser for nonprofits, I discovered quickly that they don't always talk to each other very well, and they don't talk to governments very well. So, and that's what I teach students as a graduate professor at USC, but I think our opportunity is to align the work of those organizations, get them to talk to each other. Certainly on the school district side, you know, we have Armory providing arts education for our school district, and CATS providing PE, and College Access Plan providing college guidance, you know, so we need to, the mayor is almost a matchmaker, I think, in some ways.
Sure.
You know,
We do have lots of resources, but what are you going to do with this crazy scandal?
You know, sadly,
less resources.
Yeah, well,
6.4 million less.
You know, I mean, sadly, as you look at it, you probably shouldn't be that shocked. I mean, you know, even though we are a very sophisticated community, we still run our city government at times a bit like a small town. And if you look at the systems in place, you know, we didn't follow some very basic general accounting principles. And sadly, the oversight from city council on, you know, didn't adequately detect this. And it was very unsophisticated in the way it went about. So I would certainly restore the internal audit function, but also make sure that they're not just looking at audit on the back end, but also really looking at performance on the front end so that we're using every dollar more effectively.
So how is this going to affect your family life? You have 4 children?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
tell me how this is all going to work.
I do. You know, someone asked me recently, gosh, how in the world are you running for mayor? You know, don't you have 4 kids? And I said, you don't understand. It's actually the exact opposite. I'm running for mayor because I have 4 kids. And I think it's such an important lesson for them. I mean, we all have a responsibility to work to the best of our ability to increase our community, improve our community. And they're having a blast. You know, they're going to a lot of activities. They're, you know, spending a lot of time at local churches and things like that. And it's important work, and they get that. And I think that they're really enjoying it.
Is one of your kids more of the kind of on board as your sidekick? Or?
They're differently on board around different things. My 10-year-old is a big reader and very interested in these things. She loves going to the churches with me and seeing very different cultures and things like that. So my son likes, you know, well, maybe it'll give me access to more sports and things like that. You know, so it just depends on the kid.
All right, well, we just wanted to thank you for coming out here. I know you've been doing a lot of forums out there.
We have, yeah. Had another one last night.
So keep coming back here,
Thank you.
We'll support you in what you're doing.
Thank you. You know, we need a lot of folks in our community very involved in this election. First time in 16 years. It's a big one. And as you said, you're talking about big issues, and the mayor has a big role to set a vision for us to address those. It's different than a city council person's job, you know.
And to reach out to all different types of people, you know, not just old town or South
That's
Lake.
right. No, we need a mayor who can be all of Pasadena's mayor and work in very different communities with people who don't always agree with each other.
Absolutely. So like raising 4 kids.
Raising 4 kids.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, thanks, Don.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, new research could make prosthetics a thing of the past.
Dr. List tells us about a major medical breakthrough, growing muscles in a lab. You won't want to miss this next.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again? Yep. Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it? Got it. Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Scientists are flexing their muscle in the lab.
That's right. For the first time, researchers have grown muscle in a lab. It happened recently at Duke University, and Dr. Jerome Lisk joins us with the CCN Sunrise Health Conscious segment to tell us about this medical breakthrough. What in the world? Growing muscle.
Yes, it's amazing, actually. For the first time, scientists have grown muscle at Duke University Bioengineering Department. What they've done is that they've taken a muscle biopsy of human muscle cells, they've multiplied these muscle cells to form human muscle, and then applied an electrical impulse to actually contract the muscle. This amazing new discovery is going to help us understand and treat muscle diseases such as muscular dystrophy, help replace muscle in traumatic accidents, and also test drugs and speed up medical research by years or decades. In the future, we're thinking about growing muscle cells from stem cells from skin. This is not the first time that cells have not been grown in the lab. At University of Pittsburgh, they have grown heart cells from stem cells and generated human skin cells from blood vessels. Cartilage, bladder have also been grown at Wake Forest University. Wake Forest is one of the centers of this new engineering in medicine. So this new technology eventually is hoped to grow whole organs from a pattern from patients' own cells for organ transplantation for heart and liver disease. And this is probably going to save millions of people that are on organ transplant lists.
And this is amazing because some people just end up on those lists forever, and it's really hard to make progress. So now there won't necessarily be these lists hopefully at some point.
Right. One of the greats, Walter Payton, actually passed away because he could not get a liver transplant.
Wow. Yeah, this is incredible. And I heard it's really going to help some of our veterans too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of traumatic injury, and especially for our vets.
Well, thanks for bringing this to our attention, Dr. Lisk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great. Millions suffer from back pain with no relief in sight.
Instead of surgeries or shots, maybe some foam rollers can save your back. We'll show you how it works next.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Even before pregnancy, I've had terrible time with back pain. I'm an old lady already, and it left me unable to get off the ground. If you're too scared of surgery or shots, chiropractor Dr. Evelyn Haworth and her husband Kelly Haworth, who is down here, have a simple system that can bring you relief.
This is great.
Here, Dr.
Yes, thank you for this is wonderful.
So how does this work? I mean, you have some foam, basically.
Yes, very high grade, of course. And I have to brag, it's made in America.
Oh, good. Oh, good. We like hearing that. Go, you say. So how many people come to you with back pain that they tried all different types of things and nothing's working?
Many people. Right now we're going to expos every weekend to introduce our product and let people even try it. We check them over first, we check their posture. One very easy test is to do a plumb line test from the dark part of the ear hole. When that comes straight down, it should land like if you took an x-ray where the C1, C7, T1 juncture is. And most people it's forward. And I was astounded to find out.
I feel like I need to have better posture during this segment.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, not only does it create neck pain and tension and headaches, we all know about that, it also creates jaw pain. I would never thought of that until we had invented this, and we realized that one of the reasons the system works so well, it does everything simultaneously, even the jaw. It does the neck, the jaw, the entire spine, the sacroiliacs, brings the shoulders back, and it does everything at once.
So what is the pain? What are the worst issues, or what do people complain about and this fixes?
Oh, it's amazing for pinched nerves, for bad discs, even when there's scar tissue, and that'll put pressure on the area and decrease the motion. This helps to limber and realign.
Show us how it works too.
Yeah, because I've gone to doctors and they are like, they can't give any answers. So this is a solution. So this is something people can do right in their homes on the floor. They don't need this table, right?
No, only if they have trouble getting up and down from the floor. Otherwise, we recommend doing the floor is best. And you set up the cushions. It's very easy to do, to customize to all body sizes, heights, and shapes.
Are you awake in there?
Yeah.
He's like taking a little
I'm jealous.
I know.
So we have how many foam pieces? We have this one at his feet, and we have something under his hip.
The pelvic piece, but that comes also with 2 risers, so you can customize the size.
Okay.
We had it re-engineered and lab tested, and we found how nice. The only thing that really needs to be adjustable is the pelvic piece, because when you raise that up...
So how do you know where to put it?
It's so easy to figure out. It comes with instructions that you could even follow if you didn't speak English, a lot of pictures. Also online, that's the best. We have a tutorial, and that really shows you how to do it. Basically, to answer your question, you would measure from this little dipsy doodle down to an ASIS, which you find by saying, put your hands on your hip like Simon says.
Can you show us on him so we know how
Have him get up, you mean?
Just making sure that we know where to place the items if we were at home.
Right, well, you would measure from here to here, then you would place the pelvic piece exactly that distance from the bottom of the face piece, and that's really the key. Is to get that space right.
Can you put it in the wrong place and then...
You can, but it won't work as well, but at least it won't mess you up.
It won't mess you up.
No. And
you won't be walking funny because you put it in the wrong place?
No, well, we often say you want everything to be even bilaterally.
Okay. So how long should you stay on this? And then we should probably wrap it up.
Ideally 20 minutes. And I say every day, basically 5 days a week, life happens. Once you've achieved your perfect body, you can cut back the frequency.
Thank you so much.
Thank
this
you
is
for
incredible.
Casilia.com is where they can get some more information.
Casilia.
Thanks so much. Okay.
Wonderful.
We've got lots more coming up for you in the next half hour. Pasadena Star News editor Frank Girardot will tell us about his new investigative series looking at unsolved homicides in Los Angeles County.
And later we'll get to make ahi tacos with del fresco style, or in their del fresco style, coming up. I can't wait.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And now, from Pasadena, it's CCN Sunrise with Sehnita Joshua Mattison, Paulo Alejandria, the Crown City News team, and the CCN Sunrise segment stars. It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
We're all limbered up from the last half hour with that back segment. And we have a great show for you in the second half hour as well. Frank Girardot has this amazing investigative series that he's doing with Pasadena Star News and the LA News Group, looking at unsolved homicides in LA County.
Yes.
So we're going to talk to Frank a little bit later about that.
We're also going to talk about the tacos. That's all. It's just in my
Keep talking
brain.
tacos.
Yeah,
Taco.
With Del Fresco.
So we're going to go right into the morning buzz with Frank Girardot, editor of the Pasadena Star News, and he's going to join us a little bit later to talk about that investigative series on unsolved homicides in LA County. But first, ISIS. They released a manifesto with a brilliant idea that girls as young as 9 years old can get married.
It's shocking.
It's really, amazing to read it, and of course it's cultural and stuff that we don't understand. And I think as you dig deeper into it, you just think, this is frightening. This is their plan for young women, apparently. And the idea that young women should get married at 9, little girls, that's ridiculous.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely
certainly
disgusting.
not something
Really
that would be acceptable in our country or in our culture even.
Well, and I think, the group who translated this manifesto and released it, they wanted it to be out there because a lot of times when Western journalists cover Middle Eastern women, obviously the ones who they might have access to talk to are probably the stronger ones who are out and about more. But this really shows the vision of ISIS. They're not looking for women to be out and about. They want them to have sedentary lives, to make lots of babies.
Housewives and mothers, yes.
Create
absolutely.
their army.
But it was a very formal document, too, which was very interesting.
A manifesto, right?
Yeah, it was.
And the idea that women, the sedentary, the word that you used is key throughout this, and there's only certain professions that they'll find acceptable, and they were, professions in which you would study the religion. And it says in there, in the document, that, you can do these things, but if we say, hey, there's a holy war or a fatwa or something like that, you're out of that, right, and you take care of your family and you do the things that we ask you to do. It's a very stark document, and it contrasts highly with what, I guess our society certainly expects.
Really sad to be entrenched in that type of culture, I think, where these young women are going to be stuck.
Yeah, because it makes me think of that woman who, the little girl who was on that National Geographic Afghan cover, the prized one, and they hunted, found her years later, and she's, just no one could talk to her because, the men aren't supposed to be able to talk to her when she's in her home. So. But you could just see all the struggle on her face, like she just looks so much older. And here, you have that cover where she looks, young and beautiful. And the amount they age, just being shut out from the world.
Well, we won't see their faces because they're all covered, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, our next segment, the NBC Nightly News anchor Brian Williams is being ridiculed for telling a story that the helicopter he was in came under fire when he was embedded with the troops in Iraq. He recently apologized, but do you think he's going to be able to regain his trust? Because, he really embedded himself in here, like in their stories.
He embedded himself into a bunch of jokes now, too, and a bunch of memes on the internet.
It's so sad.
His apology is ridiculous. The false memory thing is ridiculous. And what I find fascinating is that this guy's done a lot of cool stuff.
He has.
Why do you need to insert yourself into this helicopter and create some sort of drama surrounding your persona when there's plenty of stuff that he's done that goes well beyond that, and that we'd all be envious of, right?
You don't think this is an honest mistake? Because honestly, like, when he first started telling the story, there was truth to it. He didn't say that he was on the helicopter, but as the years have progressed, 12 years later, it got more and more involved, and he's ducking and weaving the fire.
I don't know. I think he's going to have to go back on Saturday Night Live and explain
and
this.
Explain it on Saturday Night Live.
Well, their weekend update is looking for a host, so maybe that might have to be the next line.
I don't know how you can misremember being on a helicopter that was shot down. I mean, honest mistake or not, I can see that element in there, but how do you really? One helicopter gets shot down, you're on another one that doesn't get shot down, but you're recalling it as if you were. It seems ludicrous to me.
You don't think there's some PTSD?
Right, yeah, not April Fool's Day. So it wasn't a good
not
one.
April Fool's Day.
Well, I don't know about him as a journalist, but he's got great comic timing, so maybe SNL is the place for him.
Right. Maybe that's his next career.
Well, coming back a little bit more locally, a string of recent shootings in Pasadena have left many scared, afraid to walk outside or use the neighborhood parks where some of the violence has occurred. There was a recent report that gang activity was down in the region, yet these incidents make some residents, especially in Northwest Pasadena, feel very unsure of what's happening. And I mean, what do you make of this? Like they keep telling us that gang activity is down, but then we see this uptick.
Well, crime is up, and in Pasadena it's up. It's not significant, but it's gone up from 2013 to 2014, and then even early January of this year, there's a lot more violent crime. Not a lot, but it's up. And the police will blame the fact that there's early release and realignment and all that, but I don't know. It's one of those things that's hard to get your hands on. Pasadena has a history of rival gangs, and sometimes when you get mixes of people who are out of jail or out of prison at the same time, and old rivalries flare up, things happen. The one thing I think where Pasadena has been fortunate is that there hasn't been a lot more death behind this.
Right. Well, Monrovia had something similar a few years ago, where it seemed like there were a couple of rival gangs, and there were some innocent young children who were killed. And that it was frightening for that community also.
Absolutely, it was. The death of Samantha Salas. I mean, an innocent 16-year-old, shot out on the sidewalk out in front of her father's apartment after going to a dairy to buy some pop. That's the thing that Pasadena doesn't want to have happen. The chief and the mayor and some of the city councilmen have gone out at various community meetings and talked about some of this stuff, and there's no solution. Right.
But hopefully we can get to the bottom of the relationships and figure out how they decipher what's really happening.
And I think there are solutions, because obviously crime goes up and down. So there are things that can happen. Now let's just see if, with these new mayoral candidates, whoever takes over that role can really bring some alignment into all the different factors going into it. Frank, we're going to have you back with more, and you're going to tell us about that investigative series.
Great.
I'm looking forward to it.
When we come back.
Thank you.
That's good. We'll talk to him about his series and Getting Away with Murder next.
Cool.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
The Pasadena Star News ran a special investigation recently that's gotten a lot of attention looking at unsolved homicides in Los Angeles County. The man behind the series, editor Frank Girardot, is here, and tell us about the inspiration. What inspired you to take on? It's overwhelming, this information and this data. So
yes, thanks, and thanks for having me on to talk about it. It's years ago, 3 years ago, I got a series of emails from a woman whose son had been murdered, and they hadn't found the killer. The murder happened in 2002. She asked me, as the newspaper editor and the guy that writes a column, could I look into it? So I said, yeah, sure. And then I thought, well, how much unsolved murder is there in Los Angeles County?
And how much is there?
Well, it turns out that, from 2000 to 2011, there were 4,682 unsolved homicides.
Really?
And to put it in perspective, that almost half of the homicides go unsolved.
Right.
I mean, that's startling.
It shocked us, actually. We got data from the coroner, and then we took it to different police agencies and said, tell us what the status of your investigation is into these cases. And as we went through agency by agency, we just found it was, less than 50%. And it's even worse for people of color and people in communities where there's low economic demographics.
So is there something that's easier to solve, or?
Well, I guess the easiest thing to solve is when husband and wife have a spat and the husband's standing there with a frying pan or a gun in his hand. But not all cases are like that.
Yeah, so what do you think is behind some of the racial discrepancies with the Black and Latino cases?
Well, there's a lot of reluctance from witnesses to participate in investigations and to talk to the police department, and I think that's what the experts have told us time and time again, is that there's a witness reluctance to take part in the investigation because there's a backlash.
Absolutely.
There's tons of of that, and there's cases where a witness will talk to the police, but as soon as they get on stand and trial and they have to look at the defendant eye to eye, they change the testimony, and it changes the nature of how you can do an investigation and whether or not you can actually find an answer in these cases.
And then it's like a vicious cycle, right? Because they can't trust the community to be able to talk as witnesses, and then when the crimes go unsolved, then they don't trust the police.
That is a very great analysis. That's absolutely true. I think that's exactly what happens. It feeds on itself, But it's systemic, right? It's not just in some neighborhoods in LA County. We looked at the entire county. We looked at it from Malibu to Pomona, and from Long Beach all the way up to Pasadena, and just consistently found that demographically, economically, there were these huge discrepancies in how police handled homicides and whether or not they were solved.
So how long do they just let them go, or do some of these come back up because of certain issues? I mean,
well, so the detectives always hope that they'll arrest somebody for something minor, and that they'll say to them, hey, look, let me go on this and I'll tell you about that homicide that happened back in 2000 and whatever.
So do we have a better way of documenting them to be able to go back into files?
Well, so the thing about a homicide investigation is that it's open forever.
Right.
So any homicide detective that you talk to has a pretty good memory of their cases. They might handle 100 or 150 cases, but if you call them up and ask, hey, how about Tony Ramirez? Can you tell me about that case? A lot of these detectives have an instant recall, and
because it's probably frustrating to not be able to get completion. Get to the answers.
I think that's why they become police officers to a certain extent too. They want to put away that bad guy. I mean, if they're really a good investigator.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they want closure, and they want to bring something to those families.
But then it's dangerous too when a prosecutor is intent on bringing it to prosecution. Are they getting the right answer?
Well, so the prosecution is a whole other element of it, and a lot of times they're not even going to bring a case unless they're sure they can.
It has to be strong.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is incredible work. I really appreciate that you're
doing it. And this is a year-long series that you're going to be doing?
Year-long series in the Star News, Los Angeles Daily News. We're going to look at unsolved homicides, the victims, the consequences, and the whole scope of it.
All right, well, please come back again and tell us more about what you're finding out.
Okay, thank you very much. PasadenaStarNews.com, unsolved homicides.
Thank you.
Well, seniors and social media don't always get along.
Luckily, I have some tips with helping seniors with social networking. In fact, I taught my mom how to use FaceTime recently, and I'll show you how that went when we come back.
Good luck to you.
Every day, across America. Excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
We are all trying to keep up with the latest gadgets and apps. It can be really frustrating for the elderly trying to keep up with the latest social media trends.
My mom is one of those seniors trying to navigate that world.
I don't know how, I know you sat down and she was a good student, but it's very frustrating on this end, trying to talk someone out into social media who doesn't understand it.
Well, and that's why it's important to learn new things. It's good for our brains too, and it's good for you and your frustration level, and just trying to slow down a little bit, take a breath, right?
Take a breath, okay.
Right.
I've been told that before.
People frequently ask me, what's the best way to avoid dementia? My response is, trying something new is always good for you and your brain. Follow no-brainer steps to enhance your brain, such as not smoking, eating more veggies, drinking your water, move more, and stay social. My mom recently learned how to text, and she finishes each of her texts with "Love, Mom," like an old-fashioned letter. I love it. She's done so well learning how to text, I thought it would be a good idea for her to take another step into learning technology. And Mom is going to visit my sister Jeremy, and I thought it would be a good idea for them to connect on FaceTime before her flight. We were in the studio earlier and showed you what we did. So I helped my mom, who wanted to be on FaceTime, and with my sister to get on board and take a look.
Recently, you've learned to text.
I'm very proud of myself, and I can really keep in contact with my kids, which is really important and special. Like I said, it's the highlight of my day when I get a text. It's great.
I'm very proud of you for getting into texting. Yes. Now we want to take it one step further.
It'll be fun.
And I want to show you an application called FaceTime, which is on the Apple products.
All right.
And we're going to go ahead and call Jeremy, because you're going to go fly out to go see Jeremy tomorrow. So let's go ahead and we'll contact Jeremy. I'll show you on your phone how that application works, okay?
Wonderful.
So here you have an iPhone, and we have what we call applications or apps, and you're going to scroll through and find the FaceTime one. So we'll go over here, and sure enough, it's the green background with the little camera on it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to try this on the iPad, and press that. It's just the FaceTime application.
Okay.
And then we have FaceTime here.
Okay.
And you're going to want to push.
So just hit right there?
Hit FaceTime.
My fingers don't work.
Here's the call line. Okay, later.
Okay.
That's just coming. So now it's dialing her.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Hi, Oh, not a problem.
I've been sick.
There we go. Oh, there's Jeremy. Look at that. So you can see how it works, Mom? So this is exciting. Mom just did her first FaceTime.
That was easy.
And I didn't really know what I was doing either, so we kind of walked through it together, because I'm not a technology expert. She did really well, and I'm really proud of her. She's staying social and learning new things in a great way to avoid dementia.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad yesterday, my sister had sent him a group text. You know, it was to him and to me. And so she sent him the text, he responded, and then I responded. And he was just like,
there's a ghost that came out of nowhere.
Where did she come from? Like, what are you doing? And he was responding to me like he was responding to my sister. Like, oh, Sehnita said this. And I'm like, I'm right here in the room.
I'm in the text too, Dad. I know, it's cute.
It's very cute.
It just happens once or twice. I know. It's fun.
But now he's got the hang of it.
I know.
And he's a big texter.
Texting you at midnight.
Yeah. I don't know. We all need our limits, right? Well, it is Taco Tuesday. Did you see that in the Lego movie?
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't see the Lego movie. I don't have younger ones.
Oh,
so, yeah.
There you go.
Thankfully, we can have tacos all day because Chef Angel Flores with Del Frisco Grill shows us how to make them here, and they're so yummy.
They are so good. I can't wait for that part.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork, loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Recently, you've learned to text.
I'm very proud of myself, and I can really keep in contact.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay, but remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Who doesn't love that lean and tasty ahi taco? Del Frisco Grill just opened in Pasadena, and Chef Angel Flores joins us now to show us how to make them at home. And I've been there quite a few times now.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. We always appreciate you.
You're new to Pasadena.
I am new to Pasadena, and I'm not so new to Pasadena. I actually went to culinary school out here, and but the restaurant is new, so we're happy to be out here in Pasadena.
Well, so these Ahi Tuna tacos, they're a specialty
there? Ahi Tuna tacos, yes. One of our specialties at Del Frisco's. What we have right here in the bowl is a sashimi grade Ahi Tuna. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of chives
So can you get this at your regular grocery store, or where are we picking this up?
You can go ahead and pick this up at like premium grocery stores, Whole Foods, Pavilion. You want to get a nice sushi grade tuna.
All right.
That's it works best. It's got a real clean flavor, and it's just really nice texture. And then we add our house-made lime oil.
Oh, that's where the lime tastes.
And what do you? So you just how do you get the lime infused in there?
So we get the lime peel, and we let it steep in the olive oil for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, and just draw all that nice bitterness and citrus away from the peel. And so we got some salt, we got our chives, and we also have a little bit of our lime oil. We're just going to go ahead and mix that up.
It's really easy, and it's beautiful in color too.
Very easy, yes.
And very fresh.
Yeah.
And super healthy.
And super healthy, yes it is.
You're trying to trick us into being healthy, huh?
Just a little bit. A little bit more lime oil.
How do you know if you have too much or too little?
You'll start to see it get really, really loose. It doesn't stay intact. You see when I move it around, it doesn't really melt.
Camera, yeah.
Yeah. See
really
how we can get through it like that, and it has a nice little sheen to it, but it's not. It doesn't look greasy or wet.
You don't need the napkins to like wipe it all down, right?
Exactly.
And it goes with guacamole that you make too, right?
Yes, it is. We make this in house. It's just guacamole. Cilantro, tomato, and a little bit of jalapeno. Do we have any scissors by any chance?
No.
You might have to
you want me to bite it
I
off?
might have to. If you want to bite that off, you can go ahead and bite that off. There it is. Never get in the way of a pregnant woman and her tacos.
I need my tacos.
Yeah, let's get these tacos going.
Yes, it will be very hygienic. He wiped it off. Don't worry about it.
Got a good wipe on it. And so we want to get some of that guac in there. I think you needed to bite it a little bit better next time.
You need me to help out?
One more time. One more. A good chunk. That'll work. That'll work. Let's give that another sanitation.
Plastic in the never hurt nobody.
Nobody. Okay. And so we got a taco here.
Shall I put some in here?
If you can, it's very hard to squeeze out. I should have brought some scissors and I should have brought a knife.
Do you need another bite on that?
I need another bite. I need a nice, yeah, a little
really
nice chunk. Got it. All right, there it is. Hope everybody likes.
Just a little bit of
Sehnita
love
biting.
from me.
Yeah, Sehnita biting. And that worked a lot better.
So now, are you in Old Town or?
We are on the corner.
No, let me tell you, they're on the corner of Colorado and
You know
Lake.
very well.
She knows exactly
Chase
where it is.
Bank.
Yeah, and you guys can come and park next to Mary's spot that we have in the
And
garage.
you saw the carving of my name on the table, too.
We'll have to carpool there.
Okay.
There it is.
And what else is on your menu?
We are known for our steaks, but we get people to stay for our cheeseburgers. We have a little bit of everything for everybody.
I'll make some of these if you want to make the next thing.
Absolutely.
You're making some salad, too. You're really keeping us healthy.
We are with some salad. This is our Brussels sprout quinoa salad. That's what we have in the bowl already. A little bit of shaved Brussels sprouts, the fresh quinoa, and the fresh kale.
Okay.
And what we're going to add to this is corn and jicama.
Now, can you use like frozen corn at this time of year, or what do you do?
No, I mean, living in California, we have a luxury of getting some really nice produce, and we keep it year-round.
Make use of it.
Some nice sweet yellow corn, but yes, you can use some frozen corn if you like. We also have a little bit of cranberry.
Okay. And
open that up. And this is shaved manchego cheese.
Ooh, that's
Get
tasty.
that in
And what
there.
kind of dressing is this?
This is our tarragon dressing that we
Okay.
put into it. There we go, like that. We go ahead and
Do you have
get
any
a mix.
specials for Valentine's Day coming up for
We
the
do have a special
Nevas?
for Valentine's Day. It's going to be a trio of filet mignon medallions.
Oh my gosh.
Each is going to have an individual topping. One is going to be, one will have butter, one will have blue cheese, the other one will have like a mushroom sauce that we make in-house.
When can I eat those tacos? Are they ready,
I got mine
The
all over the
tacos are almost
countertop,
ready.
but they are ready.
We have some tuna tacos, and we also have some tuna salad that we have on the table here. I'm just kidding, I'm sorry.
Well, we'll let you get
And
the
here?
salad ready, and while we taste the tacos.
Actually, let me put a little bit of spicy mayo on there.
Yes.
Clean it.
Please
Sorry.
don't forget the spicy.
Sorry,
on
baby.
it. There you go.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to take the extra spicy.
All right, there you go. They can get messy if you want them to.
But you know,
So it's
that
not
just
a
means
problem.
they're extra good,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, here we go.
And then you have another salad, too, that we'll try to get to, but let's see how this one is.
Oh my God, just a little bit of heaven.
Just a
I'm
little.
so messy today. I'm eating
I
plastic
tell you?
and tacos.
And a little bit more cheese on top.
You can join me at my table, too.
Oh, we okay?
I'm good, I'm good.
All right.
I like it spicy.
And here's our other salad. This is our Mediterranean salad. We got a little bit of farro, a little bit of arugula, and romaine lettuce. And this one,
messy.
I get messy too sometimes, so it's no problem. A little bit of olives.
This is great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, not a
Well,
problem.
as
Thank
you're
you very
finishing
much.
the salad, we're going to close it off. And before I die over here, that's it for our show. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors for supporting us,
Including Go Frisco Grill. Thank you.
Thank you very
Mayoral
much.
Candidate Don Morgan, Pasadena Star News editor Frank Girardot, Dr. Evelyn Haworth with her device, and her husband Kelly, who laid so patiently. So here we go. We have our great food with Del Fresco and Chef Angel.
Thanks also to our segment stars, reporters, and crew, and especially to you out there watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, Senior Providers Network, Ability First, Beacon Media News, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. You too can sponsor Crown City News. Call 626-344-8314 or email sponsors@crowncitynews.com. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.